Hey everyone, Pastor Tim here. Listen, I know that you're all staying at home and staying safe, and that's great, but I also know you probably miss the church a lot. So I'm here at the church, and what I thought I would do is that we could take this time to maybe go look at some parts of the church that you may not know about or that you may have never been to. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to show you some of the places in the church that people just don't go to that often. And hey, maybe it'll be something new. The first place we're going to go to is what we call the attic. Now the attic is the place where a lot of the HVAC equipment is, and it's up. So as that name attic would imply. So as you can see, let me flip the camera around. You'll recognize this hallway. This is the hallway that leads to the kitchen and the Coke machine. So this is a place that everybody knows on into the gym, but if we go through the back entrance, and some of you may know that this door is an exit that goes outside back behind the church. There's the portico there where you can pick up your palm fronds anytime after 2 o'clock today. So here is a stairway, and this stairway goes up to where the youth room is. So if you go in this door here, you are across from the youth room, and there's Sunday school rooms, and the atrium is back out that way. There's Justin. Hey Justin. Hey. Justin is here at work, keeping everything clean while we are in our safer at home mode. Now, here's where the attic is. If you go back and you keep going up, look, here is a door and some steps. And this is how you get to the attic. So these are interesting steps. They're very steep steps. Not quite a ladder, but not quite stairs either. It's very steep climbing up. And once we get up here, we are to the entrance to the attic. Not a lot up here except for the HVAC equipment. Lots of room. Our youth group has said they'd like to have a lock-in up here sometime. I'm not sure about that. I think pretty much the only folks that come up here are Mansell and maybe Mike Nichols, and possibly the HVAC repair people. Also, this door is how one gets out onto the roof. So here we are on the roof of the church, and you can walk over that way. There's the tower and the sanctuary, and of course next door. So now we'll go back inside. I'm going to put my phone away while I go back down those steep stairs, and our next stop is going to be the basement. Okay, made it down the stairs safely. Now we're here in the atrium outside of the church office, and we are going to be heading to the basement next. It is going this way down towards the sanctuary. So this is a very familiar hallway to most people because this is the way most people go to worship. They park in the back parking lot, go through the atrium, and come down this hallway. And most people walk right past these doors without ever knowing what is behind them. And this one is no exception. This is the door to the basement. Now I think more people have been in the basement than have been in the attic, but still, not a lot of people have been down here. So let's find out what goodies are in store for us here. The basement is quite large, and it ends up being a place where we store a lot of stuff. For instance, right away, you will see many of our Christmas decorations. This is where we store the things we use for the holiday season. And there is the manger, a couple of crosses there that we use for Easter, and then of course Christmas decorations back through here. These all get stored by Eileen Cheek and her wonderful team of helpers. Here's some stuff that we haven't used even since I've been here. There's a cornucopia, it looks like, some fall flowers, maybe some other decorations, and this is just a dead end. If we go this way, I gotta find all the light switches. To the left, we have more storage. There's some old coffee and tea makers, beverage dispensers, mason jars, candles. We have more Christmas trees and the big wreaths that we hang in the sanctuary, and lots of dishes and plates and cups. I imagine at one point when this was a large congregation, all this serving ware and all these plates and cups were utilized, and now it's all down here in storage. We probably could find someone to give all of this to, but it just sits here for now. Here we have some of the old walls that were in the chancel area that were taken out. They used to be in front of the pews and up in the choir loft. Some old pew wood and doors here. Some coat racks that were hanging at some point. Some of you probably know better than I do. That looks like it's the board that had the hymn numbers on it at some point. And of course, this is where we store our signs when we finish using them. Lots of signs here. Looks like some old pew cushions there. Here are signs that we've hung out. Maundy Thursday. These signs go back quite a ways. Sit down here. This room is really just a work room. Looks like an old table saw bench. There's some gutters here. A sign from the praise service that started, worship with the band. Oh, I just ran through a cobweb. And then of course this room, this is the boiler room. And this is when we change over from heat to air in the spring and from air to heat in the fall. Lots of things have to be pushed and pulled down here to make that happen. Going back this way. Okay. There's one other part to the basement. I told you it was large. And that is this room, which is where the cooling tower sits above and comes down. Also more storage. So here is a cross that we use for the flowering of the cross. We have lots of crosses, lots of wooden crosses hanging around. There's an old pulpit. Here's our Christmas presents that used to go under the Christmas tree. I don't think we do that anymore. More greenery. Ornaments for the angel tree. There's some stuff for the fall. We have our candelabras that we use mainly for weddings now. More glassware and coffee stuff stored. More candelabras. These are probably older, from the original building. And some more crosses. Seems like we keep making crosses. And then this is where the cooling tower is. So now we're kind of under, behind the portico where that is. That's where this drops down. I think, make sure that's closed. One other area to the basement. And that is this one little storage area over here. Here are the steps that go back up. So if you come down the steps and go to the right, there is this room, which again is more storage. There is an old computer monitor. Maybe some more signs, more storage. And back here is a sink of all things. Some sort of washroom where maybe things were prepared at one point. Vases, candelabras again. And there's an old Advent wreath. Look at that. Wow. Just pretty fascinating stuff, really. So I hope you've enjoyed the basement. Interesting stuff, huh? Next stop, let's go to the organ chamber. So you'll see here, we're outside the choir room. And just to the left of the choir room is the music catalog room. Dick Eckert built these years ago and started a catalog system for the anthems that the choir sings. And so in each one of these boxes are pieces of music for the choir that the choir will sing. Variants on an Irish hymn, Be Thou My Vision. And these are all cataloged by number, and that is done regularly, and this is how we access all of that. So you can see the different numbers, and there is a catalog in the choir room that shows what each one of those numbers corresponds to in terms of a song. Then, in this room, is just a little storage room for old choir robes and folders and books. Over on this side is what we call the blower room. Now, a pipe organ needs air to make it work. The air is pumped in through the organ and through the pipes, and that's what causes the sound to be made. When the organ is turned on, this machine right here is the machine that is pumping the air. It makes a loud hum, and you can feel the air coming out. It pulls the air and blows it in through there so that it goes out through the pipes. So this is part one of the blower room, which is also used for some storage of some old chairs that we no longer need. Also in this room is something really interesting, and that is the pulley system for the lights in the sanctuary. Now, we don't use this anymore because it's too dangerous. So we have had some people come in and look at it who have decided that this is probably not a good system after all this many years. But back in the day, each one of these pulley systems could be used to lower one of the chandeliers. You would connect this to whichever one you wanted to lower, and then you would crank it down and back up, and that would allow you to change the lights in the chandeliers. There is also this ladder here that, if we can see, I don't know if I can do this with a cell phone in my hand. This ladder keeps going up, and that's how you get above the panels in the ceiling in the sanctuary. I'm not sure where the lights are for this, so oh, there we go. There they are. Sorry for the shaky video, but I'm trying to hold on. So you can see that goes way up there. There's the pulleys. They come down through there, and if we climb up there, which I'm not going to do with a cell phone in my hand, you can see out over the top of the panels in the ceiling of the sanctuary. So, interesting. That's a place that you can go out to, but I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't do it. Maybe in my younger days, but certainly not now in my 50s. Now, when we go into the choir room is where the organ chamber proper is. And that is where the pipes are that the organ plays. So, Remember when we were in the blower room, there was a pipe going into the wall. This is where it comes out, and it comes in through here into the pipe chamber, which is here. So this is what it looks from the back side of the pipe chamber. And here you can see some of these are very tiny. David knows all about how to change these pipes, but when you hear the really high notes, you're hearing these little pipes play. When you hear the low notes, you're hearing these large pipes play. They can be tuned by moving these red bands up and down, and that's what David does. We have some louvers, that's these black slats, and David has a pedal on the organ that opens and closes that, and that increases and decreases the volume. This is not the only part of the pipe chamber. You can get in here as well, and this is the part that's really tiny space. These are the really big pipes that produce the really low notes. There's some over there on the other side as well. When you climb out here, you can see the louvers that open and shut. And if you crawl up under there, which we're not going to do, you can also get to some of the other pipes or climb up that ladder and reach some of those. That's why when the organ people come to fix the organ, they get paid the big bucks, because that is a difficult job, very demanding. We also have humidifiers that are in here that run, that make sure that the humidity level in the organ chamber stays where it should. We also have some amplifiers for our sound system that are stuck up here in the organ chamber as well. So that's the organ chamber. Very accessible. Anybody can go in there, but not many people do. Thought you might like to see that. I'm going to close all the stuff that I opened and then left while I was taking the video. Again, I apologize for the shaky feed of the video. Let's see what else we can find. I think maybe the bell tower would be a great place to go next. Here we are in the Boy Scout room, which is quite a large room. I don't know if this has always been the Boy Scout room. I think I found something, a map from the 1950s that said this was the men's Bible study room. So maybe at one point it was used by the church for Bible study, but I think the Boy Scouts have been here for a very long time. And this room is full every Tuesday night, excuse me, with our Boy Scouts. If you go through this room, these stairs go down to the narthex, you come up, and here we are in the balcony of the church. Now, a lot of you may not have been up to the balcony. It's a lovely view from up here. This is where our camera is on Sunday mornings when we are live streaming, except for now. If you look now, the camera is down there. We are doing everything from the chancel area so that it's a more intimate feeling here on Sunday mornings. But this is a wonderful place to come in the day when things are quiet and the lights are out. It's a great chance to pray. I love this view right here. As we go this way, there's a locked door, and on the other side of this door is the entrance to the bell tower. Now again, a lot more plates and dishes and cups and things of that nature are stored up here. Not sure how they got up to the bell tower or why. I probably should do something about that at some point. Some interesting things. Parking lot bricks are here. There is a spotlight that was maybe used at one point, an old soundboard, but here you can really sort of see a nice view of Kingston Pike there and the river. But there's a ladder, and that ladder goes all the way up to the bell tower. And there's the bells. You may remember we had some of those fixed a while back, and we put some pictures in the second edition about what that looked like up there. I'm not going to climb that ladder while I'm holding a camera, to be sure. I probably wouldn't even climb that ladder if I wasn't holding a camera Maybe if I had a harness that I could clip on regularly every 3-4 steps in case I fell, which I think is how the guy did it when he came to repair the bells. But I would love to go up there and see the view. I won't lie to you. I'd love to see what that looked like from up here, because that's, I'm sure, a gorgeous view, especially this time of year in the spring. Oh, I can turn on the lights. So there's the lights. Now it's lit up. I wonder if those can be seen from outside at night. I don't know. Well, there you go. No hunchbacks up there, just the bells. And we're back to the sanctuary. So I hope that was kind of fun for you. I enjoyed it. I have taken people around and shown them some of those rooms before, but I've never shown this many people all at once. And yeah, it was fun. This building is just fantastic. I know that we often take it for granted. We just come in and out of it every day, but people who come, especially into this sanctuary for the first time, just talk about how beautiful it is and how calming it is and how lovely it is. And I know that you all miss being in here on Sunday mornings. I miss being with you here on Sunday mornings, but we'll continue to do what we need to do and maybe find more fun videos like this to drop you along the way. Just not for any other reason than just to sort of smile and see some things you haven't seen before, learn some things you haven't learned before. So maybe some of you have been to all those rooms, maybe some of you have never seen any of that, but hope you enjoyed that tour. Stay home, stay safe, stay well, stay hopeful. We'll get through this. Grace and peace. Bye.